This video is brought to you by my Amazon wishlist. You can support my channel by clicking the link in the description below and buying me something from my wishlist. It would make a nice Easter gift for me, and by using Amazon Smile, a portion of your purchases will be donated to a charity of your choice. Hello Internet, welcome to Duel Theory, the show where we tackle the burning questions of duel monsters like, which female lead is sexier? Does playing card games on motorcycles require a license? And most importantly, where are the other pieces of Exodia? But today, we shall cover a very important topic of the game, a question that remains unanswered across the web even to this very day. But today is the day we unravel the mystery of Pot of Greed. Pot of Greed has seen very widespread use in the early anime, like the original series and also GX. Because it gets a lot of exposure in the media, of course curiosity will be piqued. But why does nobody know what it does? Probably because it has been on the ban list since September 2005, and therefore is not often played in the mainstream public. Rumor has it that simply being in possession of a Pot of Greed is enough to land you 2 years minimum in the Shadow Realm with no chance of parole. It is for this very reason that I am simply showing you a picture of the card right now. This is a picture that is made available to the public via Google for research purposes, and I will not confirm or deny any allegations of possession of Pot of Greed in my home or workplace. But I know what you all came to see, right? You want to see what Pot of Greed does, don't ya? Well, in order to properly explain what Pot of Greed does, let's first address what Pot of Greed is. Pot of Greed is a spell card, specifically a normal spell card. Spell speed 1, has no activation cost, can only be activated on your turn, etc, etc. Its card serial number is 55144522, and it was originally released in English as part of the set Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon on March 8th, 2002. Interesting to note, the English name of this card is Pot of Greed, but after translating the original Japanese name through Google, we get two different results: Greedy Vase or Good Pot. If Greedy Vase is correct, then that makes no sense considering vases usually have two handles or no handles, and this Pot of Greed has only one. But if it's Good Pot, then this video ain't getting monetized anytime soon. Anyway, now we know what Pot of Greed is, but we still have yet to figure out what it does. Don't worry, we'll be getting to that soon. But before we can learn what it can do, we have to go over what it can't do. It can't stay on the field because it's not a continuous spell, equip spell, or field spell. It can't be chained to other cards or activate on your opponent's turn because it's not a quick play spell. And it also can't summon ritual monsters because it's not a ritual spell. As I mentioned earlier, Pot of Greed is a normal spell. It has no icon. You activate it on your turn, it does its thing, and it goes to the graveyard. Simple. It also can't help you find love, do better in school, get a job, or do anything significant with your life, but hey, who needs a future when you have trading card games? Now I know by now y'all are probably eager to learn what Pot of Greed does now, ain't ya? Bet you think you're ready to figure out the truth because you now know everything else about the card? Well, guess what? I'm not done telling you about the card yet. See, another important feature about the Pot of Greed card is its face. As you can clearly see, Pot of Greed has a face. This face is similar to faces found on cards like Jar of Greed, Morphing Jar, and plenty of other jars. The face on these cards represents a nasty surprise hidden inside what seems to be an ordinary container. That's because these cards are loosely based on a fantasy creature known as a Mimic, usually found in Dragon Quest and certain other RPGs. Mimics are quite simple yet devious creatures. At first they look like an ordinary treasure chest, but when some random adventurer decides to try to open it and claim the contents inside, the Mimic quickly reveals its true nature and gobbles them up. Damn it, now I'm hungry. But now's not the time to order a pizza. I have a job to do, unraveling the secrets of this beloved children's card game, and justifying my continued love for this game as an adult by exploring its rich lore and penetrating it deeply. It is my duty, to discover the fantastic secrets of this game and show them to the world. Speaking of which, Pot of Greed. I'm still answering the question of what it does, and you're all waiting so eagerly to finally discover the truth, so I will gladly enlighten you. But first, why is it a Pot of Greed anyway? The only thing about this card that I can connect to the aspect of greed is the color green. Not only is the card itself green on account of it being a spell card, but the pot itself is also green. My current hypothesis as to why it was designed this way is because green is the color of money in the United States of America, and in most Western tales of fiction, money is the universal symbol of greed. But what connection does money have with this card? You see...
Shut the f*** up, Wild! I am really tired with this shit. People always asking, oh, what does Pot of Greed do? We all know what Pot of Greed does. It allows you to draw 2 cards. 2 f***ing cards! As it clearly says right there! But I would have loved for it to say is that it will allow you to draw 2 cards and shove them onto someone else's ass.
But hey, that's just a theory. A duel theory.
Oh, shut up!